Today on HandyDadTV, I'm going to show you how to wire a double switch to work two different devices from one switch box. Coming up. So this is the wiring left from my previous video where I showed you why I put a neutral in this switch box even though I didn't use it right away. I added a light up here and that neutral was necessary. In fact, now you can see when I turn on that switch, it turns on not only this receptacle, but it also turns on that light. And that's a great scenario, but what happens if you wanted to separate these and control them by two separate switches? Well, that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. All right, with the power off, let me show you what I have here. First of all, I have the hot is the black wire coming from the outlet below. So that's what comes up here. That's hot all the time. And that connects to this switch right here, to this screw. Now, when the switch is on, that connects these two screws together. So that brings the hot to this red wire. That red wire comes to this Wago connector, which provides the hot back down that red wire to the outlet and also up this black wire, which is hard to see right now. But this black wire here goes up to this light over here. The only way I could have that light go on is if I had a working neutral. That's what the white wires are, and they're just connected. So the neutral comes in from the bottom and goes right out to the top. Now, if you've got a scenario like this where one switch works multiple things from here, as long as you've got the hots, you can go ahead and convert it to a double switch. All right, with the switch removed, let me show you what I have here. I have two ground wires. One comes from the outlet below, that's the source, and the other goes up to that light. And I have this with a triple Wago because I need to ground the switch that I'm going to put here. And there's a green screw on the switch that is always going to be connected to the ground. So I'll use a pigtail to go over to that Wago. Now, I also have my neutrals, which are not going to be connected to the switch. They're just going to be left like they are, so it goes right through to the light. But the black wires and the red wire, those are important. This one here is the hot, that is hot all the time. So that one is a special one, hot all the time. These are the two that are going to be connected to each one of these switches. And I'm going to make it so the bottom switch controls the outlet down there, and the top switch controls the light up here. And the way that I do that is I'm going to connect the hot wire, this one, on this side. And you can tell these are black screws, and there's a little wiring diagram that comes on the box, and it shows you this tab right here in the middle. This tab can actually be removed if you have two separate hots, but I don't. I have one hot, so I'm going to connect it to one of these, and this tab connects both of them together. Okay, so it's as if it's one wire connected to both of those screws. On the other side, I have two brass screws. Each one of these is connected to the respective switch. So I'm going to put the red wire on the bottom one, and I'm going to put the black wire on the top one going to the light. Now I always make a little J loop, and I put it on the screw in the direction I'm going to tighten. So it's always righty-tighty. I'm going to turn it to the right. When I tighten it down, it will pull that wire onto the screw. All right, this one's not going to be used. I'm going to actually put that one, I'm going to screw it in and not use it. I always screw them in if they're not being used so that nothing touches it. Now for my ground connection, I'm just going to use this little pigtail. Again, make a little hook and put that over the top and then screw that down as well. And for this, I'm going to put that right under that Wago connector there. And now all my grounds are attached. Now this kind of a switch could be reversed. You could put it so that on goes in that direction or on goes in the opposite direction. It doesn't really matter in my situation, but depending upon your scenario, you might want to actually reverse it. But I'm fine with it the way that it is. So I'm going to connect the red wire down the bottom and the black wire up the top. And remember, the red wire is the one that goes to the outlet down here. Okay, this is now completely wired. On this side I have the ground and the hot, and that hot works for both of these as long as that connecting tab is there. And the other side has the red wire going down to the outlet here, and the black wire goes up to that light. So now with the breaker back on, let me give it a test. This switch should turn on that light down at the receptacle, and it does. And this one should turn on that light at the top, and it does. And now they work independently. And that's how you wire a double switch. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. If you need shade on your deck or patio this summer, check out Toya Grid Pergola Kits. You source the lumber locally and can assemble this modular system in as little as 30 minutes. Check the video description for links to videos and more information about Toya Grid.